This week's tip is about increases that you make on the Purlside. And the thing that you need to ask yourself whenever you're making an increase on the Purlside whether the Purlside is the right side of the work, or if you are making the increase on this side, but this is the stockinette is going to be the right side of the work, because that's going to have some impact on what increases you use. Now basically, if you are doing increases and the Purlside is the right side of the work, it really doesn't matter, because Purlside increases are just not as visible. They don't have a slant particularly. So you can use pretty much any technique you want. Bar increase, M1, or lifted. And if I were doing a bar increase, or for any of these, instead of working it knitwise, you work it purlwise. And that's all there is to it. It's not that difficult. So if I'm doing a bar increase, I'm purling into the front, I'm purling into the back. And that gives me these two purls on top of the other one. If I'm doing a lifted, or rather an M1, I can work it so it slants towards the left, or that it slants towards the right. Really doesn't matter, because the slant is not going to be all that visible on the wrong side of the work, or on the purl side, which if it's the right side, you can see again I've got my two increases there. And the same is true for the lifted. The only difference in how I'm working these is, instead of knitting them, is that I am purling them. And so if my purl side is the right side of the work, and I'm going to have lots of photos of this, you can see that it really doesn't matter. And my tension's a little icky there, but you can see that I've got my increases. Now, if the right side of the work is the knit side, it does make a difference, because notice that this is a left slanting increase on the right side. This is a right slanting M1, and that my purl bump is here. So if my increase is going to be visible on the right side, I need to make some choices and reverse those out. Now, in the blog itself, I have these labeled and more information than you possibly want, but in the video, I'm just showing you how to make them. Now, the other thing that you frequently that brought up this topic anyway was the double yarn over buttonholes and what to do. Now in this case, I am making my yarn overs on the right side, and I'm going to do 3 of these. But I'm going to be working those yarn overs on the wrong side. So depending on how I work them, that is going to affect how they look on the right side of the work. But I'm doing the actual increases on the back. Okay? Now, if you look at the instructions for most of these kind of double yarn overs, they generally tell you to knit or purl. Well, generally they'll say knit into the front of the yarn over and then knit into the back. And if I do that, I'm going to have purl stitches there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to purl here and purl here, but that's still going to, it's like a bar increase. It's still going to give me something I'm not that wild about. What I prefer to use in this instance is M1 increases and slant them in opposite directions. So on this one, I'm going to work a yarn over that is slanting towards the left, or slanting towards the left on this side, and then slanting towards the right, on this side. And I'm going to purl them. Hold on, did I knit or purl that? Hold on, let's go back. Okay, here's my M1 that is slanting towards the left, so I'm going to go in and purl it. Then I'm going to work the other one so that it's slanting towards, sorry about that, the right. Okay, and on the other one, I'm going to reverse that out. I'm going to have this one going towards the right, and this one going towards the left. Sorry about that. And there we go. Now in the blog, you're going to be able to see that this makes a difference, and you can sort of see. In this one, notice that they slant and they come together in the center. In this one, where I did the left and the right first, I've got this kind of like loop here. And in this one, I have this mishmash of kind of ugly stitches. So I will put all of the various instructions for these in the blog itself, but at least you've seen how to make them.